Are you looking for an escape from manufactured truth wrapped in selfish agenda? Don't you just want to have a real and raw conversation, all masks and rules aside? That's what you're getting here at Titan Evolution Podcast. Get rid of all the nonsense information and discuss everything under the sun without filters. Listen to real stories of real people who will put your current perspectives to the test, guide you on living the life you truly want, and see everything free from judgment and pretenses. Time to get rid of those unhealthy environments and let your authentic self shine. Here are your hosts, Travis Johnson and Carol Carpenter.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Travis, that's Carol, and we have a special guest today. Lucy has her doctorate in veterinary medicine, owns a cat named Peanut, and fought a mystery disease for a number of years. We're going to find out all that and more. Welcome, Lucy.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And actually, I have two cats, but that's okay.
You
Well,
have
we
two
can't let.
cats.
Hang on.
The
What's
guys
the
are
other
just
cat's
lining
name?
up for their chance now that you've got multiple cats.
Well, basically, I mean, it would be a good chance, wouldn't it? There's Peanut and Pickle.
Peanut and Pickle.
Yeah.
Why did you
Yeah.
name
The
them
next
Peanut
one's
and
Blonde.
Pickle?
It's because food names are cool, you know.
Oh, okay.
Sure,
Good
that's the
P
reason.
names.
That's the reason, yeah. My son got a pair of ferrets in February, and he named them Rice and Beans.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
it.
that's
Yeah,
freaking hysterical.
yeah. They're little like
cute.
slinky cats. He carries them all over, and they wrestle around, and they get distracted very easily, kind of like our guest Lucy today. Very easily distracted.
That is true. By sparkles, lots of things, motorcycles.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're just thankful that you're not
Totally.
drinking today because the subtitles for your Scottish accent would be very large and very much needed. So I gotta know, why is it that you went to veterinary school?
Why did I go to veterinary school? That's a question actually, because I have a picture. My dad has a picture of me when I was a little girl. It must have been about 2, and I have my arm through a fence and there's all these cows surrounding me. And I look at that now and I'm like, I always wanted to be with animals, always. And I always said to my parents, I want to be a vet. And they're like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if that just kind of dissipates over time, because I feel like in my lifetime, people come up to me and they're like, oh, I always wanted to be a vet. But I couldn't put animals to sleep. And by the way, I feel like that's the nicest thing we can afford animals as veterinarians, is to put them to sleep with dignity and take them out of their pain. Honestly, it's not a bad thing, but everybody sees it as a bad thing. But back to the question, distraction. I think that it just never went away for me. I never saw that as a hindrance. And my sweet dad was always like, well, I'll support you in whatever you decide. And I was always just obsessed with animals. I have this deep, deep love for them. And I don't know. I guess it's how maybe women feel about their human babies is how I feel about animals. They're amazing.
About their human babies.
Yeah.
God bless
Oh my
you.
goodness. I felt that from here.
I'm gonna need to go to a doctor. Like, there's pain shooting down my arms right now. Good Lord. Good Lord, that was
Did
a
you blow
sneeze.
out a kidney?
What?
Did you blow out a kidney there? Jeez.
At least 3 ribs
Like set
popped
off a
out, so
hurricane somewhere.
I'll have to go see a chiropractor after this episode. See, this is what happens when we don't stretch before we do these shows anymore, Carol. We didn't get our stretching in. I'm not okay with this.
No calisthenics. Yeah, we should have, like jumping jacks, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, just prior.
Yep.
Always do your stretches. Keeps you young.
Well, I think we're actually the same age, Lucy.
Are we really? How come you look so much older? I love you. I'm joking.
You are
Oh, that was the best.
The first person.
I'm in so much trouble later. Oh my God. Look very young. I believe it, because 41 is very young. That's the thing. Super young.
It really is.
Oh my God.
It really
is so young, guys. Enjoy it now. Wait till you
I
hit
know.
your 50s. I'm
It'll
telling you,
get worse.
telling you, it sucks balls. That's all I can say.
Oh, like you look like you're in your 50s. God,
Mm,
whatever. I'm always
mm.
gonna look young forever. You're like, I don't know what you take, but it's
Well,
something.
I'll tell you what I'm doing is I actually said this to somebody yesterday. I was like, I'm kicking Father Time in the nuts for as long as I can, but he's starting to fight back. So,
I know you can only fight it so long.
I'm trying. Oh, sorry, Travis.
This is just gonna be a show where Carol and Lucy are just giggling back and forth. That's all it's gonna be. Giggles with Carol and Lucy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pretty much. Pretty much. I know. Well, I know Travis has this question that he loves to ask all of our guests. And so,
Yeah.
Travis,
I gotta know. I gotta know what makes you a Titan.
What makes me a Titan? I mean, a Titan is, I'm assuming, like someone who is strong and, you know,
Is it?
is it? I mean, I guess that's what I take from a Titan, right? I guess, that is a question, isn't it? It's loaded because it's a lot of things. I guess
Yeah.
I feel like I see life as, if you don't like it, you're the only one that can change it. And I'm all or nothing. So when I really love something, I put my all into it. Like I make it work no matter what. I have gotten through a lot in my life, and I see it now as, I mean, like most people, like life is just too short. I mean, now more than ever, after COVID and after getting through a long illness, I mean, I could not be here right now. So I just feel like I'm a determined person, persevere, and yeah, I guess, does that answer your question?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you feel like it answers your question?
Oh my
This
God,
is all based.
don't ask a question based on a question. Don't do that. My
It's
God.
all based on your interpretation of the magic abilities that you have, your personal superpowers. The reason that you became a doctor of veterinary medicine is because of who you are as a person, and that's what makes you a Titan, right? Those are the
Yeah.
things. If you're listening to this and you want to do an exercise, you want to find out, you're like, Travis, I don't have any superpowers. Ask your friends, ask your inner circle, what's my
Yeah.
superpower? And you will be shocked to find out all the little things that everyone knows about you that you don't know about
Yeah, that's
yourself.
true.
This is
That
not
is
something
so
that we can
true.
just figure out, right? You buy an action figure, you're in the package, and on the outside it says all the amazing things you can do, right? Karate chop action, or can stretch, or the head swivels, whatever the thing is. That's written on the package, but it's really hard to see what the package says when we're inside the box.
Yeah. I guess like that's very true, because I mean, I just see my life as my life. It's like nothing special. But like I was having a conversation with someone not that long ago, and we're just having a back and forth about all the things that we've done in life, and they were just like, wow, you have a really interesting life. And I was like, I do? I mean, I
But it's hard to
guess.
see
Like,
it as interesting because it's
yeah.
you, right? You're the one that goes through it. But what I think is fun is when you hear from other people, especially when you're talking to them, what they think is so special about you. Because you
Yeah.
don't necessarily see it, but it
No.
apparently is very clear, loud and clear to them, but not to you.
It is
It's really
so
cool.
very true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool perspective to see yourself from, is through other people's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the good and the bad, right? As hard as the bad is to take.
There is no bad.
Yeah.
What are you talking
No,
about?
none. Don't ask my husband.
One of the reasons it's so hard to know what is special about us is that thing for us, whatever the thing is, comes easy, comes naturally, comes effortlessly. So when they say that is what makes you special, you're like, what? Really? That's what makes you special? Because it doesn't require any effort. So it doesn't equate to us as being the thing that's magical,
Right.
your zone of genius, or your superpower, or what makes you a Titan, is because it's easy for you. It doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of people that,
Yeah.
when we do these shows and I send a little message that we're, getting ready to wrap up, they're like, how long have we been talking? We've already been talking for 80 minutes, my friend. Like, they have no
Yeah.
idea that like time and space disappeared. They have no idea. Like, when you get like talking to me as a person, like time just melts, everything just melts away. Nothing else exists. And people don't get it. They
Yeah.
come out of it like it's been like an experience, like it was a drug-induced coma or some kind of like weird thing that happened. And they're like, there's no way. There's no, they check their watch and they're like, oh, good Lord, how have I been talking to you for 3 hours now? I'm like, yeah, that happens.
Right.
Like, that's one of my things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's your superpower. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
I was reading through your bio here, and I wanted to talk about this mystery disease because this happened the exact same thing to someone I know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow, you know what? I hear that a lot now. Like when I found out that I had Lyme, it was like rinderpest. Like, what the hell is Lyme? Like, who has Lyme? Like, that doesn't exist, you know? And I basically had talked to a friend from school and she had it, and I thought, like, but when I put two and two together and listened to her symptoms and equated it to mine, I thought, oh my God, this could be a thing. And when I looked into it more, I'm like, geez, it's brutal. I mean, it really is brutal. I would never wish it on my worst enemy, honestly. Like, it's the most horrific disease, and the way you get treated a lot of the time is even worse,
Mhm.
you know?
So what are the symptoms? Like, what were you experiencing and how do you think you contracted it?
Everything is a symptom. That's the thing. You could think of any symptom you want, and you could have it with Lyme. Like, I was numb on one side of my body. I was
Oh,
weak. I couldn't do
God.
surgery because my hand couldn't grip. I would get stroke-like symptoms, like my heart rate. I would eat dinner and my heart rate would go up to like 180. Just like just beating and skipping beats. I had dreadful pain. Like, I've never felt pain in my entire life like that, and it was unrelenting, would never go away. Nothing would touch it, like nothing. I went blind in one eye. I had these lights that would flash in my eye line. I would faint randomly, just pass out.
Oh, my
Um,
God.
I mean, I had no memory. Like, I couldn't remember my friends' names. I would go through red lights thinking they were green. Had tingling. My fingers and toes would just jerk and move, like, independently of me doing that.
Completely
Um,
involuntary, huh?
oh, it's awful. I just had vomiting just randomly. Shocks and spidery feelings in my legs. Like, I felt like I had spiders under my skin. Yeah, like I could bite my cheek. My face was numb just right down the middle. Like, it was completely numb
Oh.
on the side, on the left side. And I could bite through my cheek. I had a heart
And you
murmur for
wouldn't
a while.
even, you couldn't feel it when you bit.
Nope. I could bite through it and not feel that. Yeah.
That is
It's incredible.
freaky. Yeah.
I'm probably
Oh my
forgetting
God.
half of the symptoms. That's probably only half of them. Like, there's so many
How
things.
how long did you suffer with that before you found out what it was?
Probably about a year.
Oh
Yeah, and it
God.
just got worse and worse. Yeah. And like, you would have this just tiredness like you've never felt before, like where you just wanted to sleep all the time, and just this, when you have a cold and you kind of feel like you're floaty. It was that all
Mhm.
the time. And I was trying to work with that. Like, I was trying to be a vet and have all of that going on. I remember sitting down at work once and I just said to someone, I honestly feel like I'm dying. I just feel like I'm dying. Something's gonna happen. I'm not gonna wake up in the morning. I just feel, just
Yeah.
and
I,
that was, at that point I didn't know what it was.
right. It's so hard to diagnose because it has so many different symptoms. It's not like you've got these three
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that's Lyme. My cousin's wife, a gal we went to school with, like, she got diagnosed with Lyme, but she went through, like yourself. I think she was doing it for a couple of years before they found
Oh
out what it
Yeah.
was.
God.
Like, she was on death's door. She had lost a disgusting amount of weight. I think she was under 100
Yeah.
pounds. Like,
Yeah.
they
I
had
was
like,
down to like 20.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my
I remember my
they
landlord saying, "Are you okay? Like, you've lost a lot of weight." And I was looking at myself like, "Have I?" Like, you know,
yeah,
I
Yeah.
probably thought,
Oh,
they actually organized like fundraising events for her to keep her alive, to try to figure out what it was. Like there's an annual poker run right now that was like dedicated to her, and all the bikers would come out and raise money. And then when they actually found out what it was and she got it solved, like now they keep doing the poker run and a few other events, but they donate it to like Lyme disease research, because
Yeah,
it's such a sneaky disease. Like it doesn't
it
like
is.
want you to know that it's there. It's like the ninja of diseases,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This, this
And
pot's gonna get knocked over, that plant's gonna get knocked over, and oh, it's Lyme disease, by the way. Yeah, you're not gonna know what it is.
yeah, feel like it's seen as the crazy person disease, right? You have Lyme disease. Okay, there's made up disease. Like you're just crazy. Because it doesn't get taken seriously. Well, at the time when I had it, it just did not get taken seriously by doctors at all. Like they're like Lyme disease. I don't even know how to test that. And then the test is completely just it's inaccurate. Like so, if you're negative on the test that they do, oh, you don't have Lyme disease. But it's so inaccurate. There's so many false negatives. So I mean, I ended up sending my blood work to the States to an independent lab, and it was strongly positive. And then nobody believed me up
Oh,
here. No one believed me in Canada. I showed my rheumatologist, and she was like, "Oh, these labs just want your money. Like, they'll just tell you what you want to hear." Well, why would they do that? They already have my money. So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could not get treated here. And if you wanted to go to the US, it was thousands and thousands of dollars. I know people who've had to remortgage their house or give up their house, spend their life savings. Like it's so sad what people have to go through to get treatment.
Mm.
I just I
I
saw it
thought
all,
Canada
right?
was like, at the top of the heap with socialized medicine. Is that not the case? Isn't it fantastic healthcare up there, or no?
I mean,
Mm,
yeah, the healthcare is amazing, but not when it comes to Lyme disease. That's a whole different ball game.
it's like a specialty. Yeah, you need a specialist for that, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you think you contracted it, Luce?
My parents were here visiting. We went to the island, Victoria. They all went to some exhibition that I'd already seen. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just lie on the grass here in front of the Parliament building and I'll just relax while you guys are away. So I lay
No
down on the grass.
way.
I fell asleep for half an hour and never felt it. But I remember somebody saying, "Oh, you have a rash on the back of your neck," and I'm like, "Oh, I think I was just scratching it, scratched a scab off or something, whatever it was." Well, it was a bullseye rash, and I never saw it. Somebody had just mentioned in passing, never thought anything of it, never thought about it again. And then my first symptom was just the tip of my finger was going numb and tingly. I just ignore stuff, right? I constantly ignore stuff. I'm like, I'm from a medical background. My parents are both medical. You were fine unless you were physically on the floor dying. So take a Tylenol, take an Advil, you'll be fine, right?
Brush it
To the
off.
point where my
Yep.
brother fell ill. My brother fell ill once, and his appendix burst because my mom sent him to school. She still feels bad about that. It was pretty
Oh.
funny, but not really at the time. So yeah, it's that kind of thing, right? That's the Scottish way. It's the Scottish
Yeah.
way. So you're
Well,
fine.
I'm just thinking about
Um,
my daughter when she was growing up. Like, I don't know how old she was. She was definitely under 5, and like some kid fell like right in front of
yeah.
her, and she just starts laughing. Like, ah! I was like, Alyssa, you have to see if they're okay. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, are you okay? And the kid's like,
Oh,
yeah. And she's like, ah, you fell. Like, there was no, I don't know, no empathy or whatever. Like, she just thought it was
no.
hilarious.
Oh,
No, you got to
geez.
see if they're okay. Oh, okay. Oh my
I
God.
mean, I can't say I didn't grow up with stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and my wife grew up
Oh
on
my.
the farm. Like, there's no sick days on the farm. The animals have to be tended to, no
No.
matter what. Oh, you
Yep.
got pneumonia? Cool, go feed the chickens. Oh, you've got this? Great, go feed the
Yeah.
cows. Like, there's no one else to do it for you in farming unless you're on some
Yeah.
big commercialized farm. So, I can
Yeah.
understand how
It's
that
actually sad.
goes. Yeah, absolutely. You got to
Yeah.
be the one to do it. Push through. Let's go. Let's get it done. And
Yeah.
at one time that mentality was very useful all over the world, but now it's like if you don't take care of the thing's going to come back worse than it was. It's going to come back and bite you and hurt you in all these other different ways. Like, I was
True.
talking to
Yeah.
a friend about this concept. Last week we were having dinner, and we got into the conversation about like men's mental health. I'm like, women, children, animals are loved unconditionally. Men, they're like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, they're not loved unconditionally. It's based on what they
That's very true.
provide, and few people actually check on their men to make sure they're everything's going well. It's all right. Like, no one checks on men. They just expect you
This
to,
is hard with men. It's
yeah,
hard though because they just kind of, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Like to get them to pull that out of them is like a year-long event, you
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just like, I just retired from the military last year and did 22 years, and like no one went to the doctor, or if you did, you went just because someone made you, and then you never took the medication. You continued doing all the things that you're doing because that was somehow considered strength.
Yeah.
Um, your body's dying, your immune system is fighting itself. Like, oh yeah, I'm fine, dude. You're literally like on the ground coughing up blood. Ah, no, we're good. I don't understand how that is considered toughness. That doesn't make sense to me. It never
Oh,
equated for me. Yeah.
still a big mentality though. That's still how many people think. You know, you just gotta tough it out. I think I do because that's how I got brought up, you know. Be fine, just
Mhm.
tough it out. Like don't be a sissy, you know?
That's the way I
Like,
grew up. Nobody
Yeah.
felt sorry
yeah.
for you. You had to
Mm.
take care of
Oh,
business no matter what. And, suck it
yeah.
up, buttercup. Deal,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't need people to feel sad for me on my behalf, but like, I got bad days. I've got good days. I got bad days. I've got every kind of day in between. I got days of walking around being just an asshole. And I'm like, I just ate food. Food's not the thing. I know ladies, like if they're being mean to you, just throw them some
Yeah.
calories and
So
usually
food.
calms them right down. But, we all have, what's your favorite when you're grumpy and someone points it out, what's like your go-to snack? That's what I want to know.
Go-to snack. Usually something sweet, like cake, cookies,
That's why
booze.
you brought up cake earlier. Damn it. If I had known.
That's my downfall.
Is
Sweets.
it
Oh
cake?
God. Yeah, gummy
Yeah.
sweets. Oh my God, I love gummy sweets. What do you call
Really?
them? You call them candies?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gummy
Gummy
sweets. Oh
sweets are like what is it? What the Haribo bears?
yeah.
Like gummy
Oh,
bears?
Gummy bears, yeah.
like just stuff like that. No, no, no. I love those. Yeah, that's my
No, no,
go-to.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no. That's my go-to for sure.
So getting back to Lyme disease, it says you saw 55 specialists. I don't know how you get 55 appointments in a year. That's like
Dude, I
its own
know.
shocking thing. That's more than 2 a month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was nobody. It's like everybody knows their specialty well, but then when they get the history, they don't put two and two together. So it's like I see a gastroenterologist, I see a neurologist. I mean, a neurologist was like, oh, well, it could be cancer, it could be
Oh
MS.
dear
It's
God.
probably MS. Like so. I'm bracing myself at what 30. What was I 31, 30? Like this could be life changing, and then nobody could ever get a diagnosis. Rheumatologist, gastroenterologist, everything you could imagine. I saw everyone. I had ultrasounds. I had 4 CT scans because I had neck pain, right? Like I had a frozen shoulder type situation, and the way that my arm was numb, they could not pinpoint it to a specific nerve. So then, I mean, I was childbearing age and I had 4 CT scans in 6 months. I mean, that's a lot of radiation. Each one is like, I think they say about 90 x-rays of radiation. It's a lot. So, and then
Well, it
MRIs,
was
and then I
birth
went to
control.
Scotland and I had, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I mean, but then I went to Scotland and I had blood test after blood test after blood test and ultrasounds, and yeah, nothing. Like they said, I had parvo, I had antibodies for parvo, and all sorts. I mean, yeah, I deal with parvo all the time at work, so probably do have
Right.
some antibodies to that.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, they just said, oh, it's probably chronic fatigue. You probably have to live with it. And I'm like, but chronic fatigue is such an umbrella term for so many
Yeah.
things. And guess what's under that umbrella? Lyme disease. So, I mean, as a doctor, in my head, I love figuring out hard cases at work. Like that's my jam. I love it. Like I'm determined. So for myself, I'm like, no, 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 no. This is not my life. This is not going to be my life. I'm not going to die like this, and I'm not going to be in a wheelchair. I'm figuring this out. And
Mhm.
that's what I did. I did it for myself.
It's crazy. So my wife's had 42 surgeries since we've been together, which is just an insane amount. And she experienced a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. You have these symptoms, the doctor can't figure out what it was. You know, we're from a fairly small town in northern Minnesota, and then you get into the military, and most of the military doctors are like it's their first gig after they've been crowned a doctor, so they don't have any experience, right? And so she went to see all these medical specialists. She has a lot of the same symptoms that you had. She ended up going to the Mayo Clinic, which is one of the top clinics in the world. Like Mayo and Johns Hopkins are some of the best in the world. They couldn't figure it out. And she ended up having all these things that if you have a specialist that knows the thing, they know exactly what it is. But a lot of doctors, if it's not their specialty, they just give you some nonsense like chronic fatigue and say, instead of saying, you know what, I don't know, we need to talk to this other doctor over here. They're so unwilling to say that they don't know. Like, you don't know, just shut the hell up, say you don't know, and say who we're going to talk to. Don't just give up on people, right? They see you for like, what, 6 minutes. They don't ask you about your sleep or your diet or any of that stuff. They're not diagnosing you. They're just prescribing you something, right?
Yeah.
Like,
if I prescribe them, it'll go away.
Yeah. So we were on base, and we had there was a nurse that was visiting from out in town doing a couple rounds to volunteer or whatever. And we're in there having a discussion with this nurse who calls my wife a drug seeker. And yeah, you just want pain meds. She's like, look at the chart, look at the thing is, right? And this gal just happened to be walking by and caught a little bit of it. And she's like, this happens to you every month? She's like, yeah. She's like, with your cycle? She's like, yeah. It's like, I know exactly what this is. She was having ovarian cysts that were exploding during her week.
What?
And what it was endometriosis. The endometrial cells in your uterus had started spiraling up and crawling up into her abdomen. And this nurse that happened to walk by knew exactly what it was, connected her to her clinic where the doctor does those surgeries every week, scheduled my wife for surgery on Friday, hadn't talked to her yet, had a prelim with her on Thursday, knew exactly what it was. And on Friday, it was fixed.
Wow. And the Mayo Clinic didn't figure that out? I'm so
no,
astounded.
Yeah, but this has happened to her. This has happened to her at least 3 times, right? So for that, she ended up having to do 12 surgeries, chemically induced menopause, all these different things to try to kill endometriosis, just an insane amount of stuff. And then she had celiac disease, and they couldn't figure that out. And then she had brain surgery last year. But it took all these different specialists that had to have a clue of what this thing was, because none of the general practitioners that you get in the military have any kind of clue about this stuff. But instead of saying they don't know or referring you to a specialist,
your wife on this show. You need your wife on this show. She's amazing.
Well, she doesn't think she has anything worth talking about.
That's the thing. That's how I feel. I'm like, wasn't me for an hour and a half,
But it's a big deal because people don't listen to women when they have problems. People don't even ask men at all, but they don't listen to men when they say something's hurting. And then they go through the regular, everyone kind of has this stuff and doesn't solve it. And they're like, chronic fatigue, or you're making it up, or some other nonsense.
It's all in your head.
So
Yeah.
A friend of mine is working on a documentary about that exact same thing, about women in healthcare and how they're not taken seriously. And we've got 3 women who have gone through this exact thing, right? That they just were not taken seriously, and it's a big thing, and it needs to be talked about for sure.
Oh yeah, especially when you see an OBGYN, right? And for the longest time, I had male OBGYNs growing up, right? Because I automatically assumed that's what we're supposed to do. That was my first one, right? So I remember having really bad pain, and I would talk to him about it. I'm like, my period comes around, I literally am puking my brains out. It's horrible. And I was losing an immense amount of weight. My mom thought I was pregnant, all these things were happening. And it kind of hurt because, you're sitting there feeling your absolute worst. You're turning into a shadow of yourself. And meanwhile, your mom's sitting there going, you're promiscuous, you must be pregnant. Thanks, Mom. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, I ended up finding a female OBGYN. Never will go back to a male because the guy basically said to me, yeah, it's all in your head.
Nonsense.
I've had that so many times. You don't even know. We're just hysterical. We're just women. We're hysterical. Yeah, women do react to things emotionally, but that doesn't mean we're hysterical and crazy all the time. Again, don't talk to my husband about that.
Well, I didn't think women got hysterical. They just get historical and keep bringing up all the old shit you did. Isn't that?
Oh, shit.
Oh, fine. That's a fine edge. You got two women here. Know your audience.
Well, these are important things to talk about. A, it's funny. Both of you all are smiling over here. My son's.
I'm not close enough to kill you.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm on video saying this stuff, right? So like,
the keyboard warrior.
my son just turned 15, and we went to Minnesota last year for my wife had brain surgery, and she ended up staying up there for a while for a funeral and taking care of the house or whatever. We're driving back, and like I am getting like super tired, and I'm like, Cole, like started asking me questions, like give me something to get my brain moving so we can have a conversation so I could stay awake. And he's like immediately starts like saying stuff about his sister, like, is she like really that crazy? And like, oh, let me tell you, you get into stuff. And then he's like, well, how did you and mom meet? I'm like, oh, see, this is a good one, and you need to beat her up with this one, right? So I met my wife in 7th grade, the first day on the bus in a new town, and there she was, right, sun shining through her hair, and she was, beating my sister's ass, and I was like, wow, someone that hates my sister as much as I do. Fell in love,
marrying her.
fell in love like at that moment. We didn't date till after high school, but after we got married, we're driving from Minnesota to California, and I'm talking to my buddy, or I'm talking to Megan, and she tells me about how she used to steal my car, and I was like, what? That was you? And she told me the whole story, and I call my buddy John, and he's like, ha ha ha, you're welcome. So the story is, I big long high school, and I ended up like on one end of the school for everything, but my locker was at the other end. So I started sharing a locker with my buddy John. And every day I would come to school, throw the keys in there or whatever, because I don't need the keys to walk around. And then something started happening. I went out to the parking lot for lunchtime, and I couldn't find my car. And like I would walk all over. I started thinking I was crazy, that I was having some kind of thing happen to me. Had no idea. Went on for days. And then finally you're like, you know what? I guess I can't remember where I parked my car. So I park it like way far away, or I park it in the same place every day. Come to find out, my wife went to my buddy and was like, hey, Travis, I could borrow his car for lunch. Never happened. A, we weren't friends at all. B, I had no idea she was doing it. And C, she had like we had split our lunch period. So she would take my car to lunch, go park it, go put the keys in, and she didn't have a class after lunch. She would sit outside and watch me leave the school and have to like search for my car, right? Just to get my attention or whatever. I have no idea why because we weren't friends. We weren't together. Like she was just picking on some random kid. So I told my son that she used to steal my car. So when she got back from Minnesota, my son's like, I heard the story. Why are you stealing Dad's car? He's like, oh, that's the version he told you? I was like, watch out. She's gonna get historical on us. Watch out.
Uh-oh, what's coming?
Oh my goodness.
That's hysterical.
It's hilarious now. Back then, I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, I know where I parked. Like, where the hell is my car?
That was pretty clever of her, though. You have to give her that.
I like it. Yeah.
But we weren't even friends. Like, if we wouldn't have started dating after high school.
That's like a girl pulling your pigtails. Well, like a guy pulling a girl's pigtails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's basically girls rule, boys drill. Classic scenario.
Right. But you would tell the person, so you would have that kind of interaction. No one told me. My buddy who knew this was here's the other thing. My buddy went to lunch with me every day, and he knew what had happened, and he wouldn't help me. Like, he would stay back a little bit and watch. Like, they were both in on it.
That's perfect. I love that.
What the hell?
I love it.
That's actually really funny.
It is.
Clever and funny.
It is now. I was hurt at the time because after we got married, we were driving. Like we drove like 2 days later. We left. She waited until we were like all the way across North Dakota into Montana, so I couldn't turn around and drive her back and drop her off. Like she waited to that point of no return to tell me, like, oh, by the way,
That's
since you're
funny.
stuck with me forever, I used to steal your car. What the hell? I
feel like me and your wife would get along really well. One day I got to meet her.
a lot of people get along with her. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Everyone just likes picking on Travis.
No,
Yeah.
stop it. That's not true.
That is true.
God damn, I almost want to pull out my tiny little violin for you.
Is it this big? In the world status song.
I also understand that people pick on you when they love you. They'll just talk about you behind your back when they don't love you.
Oh,
well, and they poke fun at you when they love you too.
Yes,
you know?
yes, they absolutely do. One of my favorite things is to get selfies from my friends with them like flipping me off. Like that's how I know we're close. That's how I know we're tight. Just like ding in the middle of whatever, I'm at dinner with friends and I'll get a picture of my friend flip me off. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, the show hasn't started until Travis says something to me and I just go, fuck you, Travis.
Yeah, that's usually, and I hit record like right in that next moment. So when the camera starts, we're all smiling and laughing because that's just how that's that good energy. That's that real good energy. How did you two end up meeting? What was that? What happened there?
She came to one of my track days. And actually she was signed up and there was a problem with registration. Do you remember that? And we were emailing each other back and forth about the registration. And so that was my first time actually even, like I even knew Lucy existed. Like, I don't even think she was riding before that. I'm not sure. Yeah.
That was my first ever track day.
I was your first track day?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm honored. Okay, so I know, but I love this girl. You got to know. So that's how we originally met. And then when we finally had the event day was the day we met face to face and just loved her from day one.
I came to track in textile gear, like no leathers, nothing. It was 8 months after
I remember.
I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this. Like, don't get excited. I'm just gonna come in textiles. So was Freddie, my husband, and we look like.
But wait. By the way, he wasn't your husband then.
No, he wasn't. No,
right?
He wasn't. Yeah.
Well, where was your husband?
Stop it.
Better keep that one a secret. I came on my brand new GS6R, brand new, 1 month old, and I did this class with Jason Pridmore, and had no clue what I was doing, absolutely none. So I spent the whole day just winging it, and then I remember saying, I'm feeling really tired. I think I'll maybe skip the last one. I feel just really done. And everyone's like, don't be a pussy, just get out there. When are we going to do this again? Blah, blah. So I went out and sure enough, low-sided my GS6R and totaled it. You just watch something happen. Like I just literally low-sided. So the bike just did this, went off track, hit a patch of grass and just barrel rolled for 1,800 turns, pieces flying off. And I was just devastated. My bike.
I remember. And then because of that, she got hooked.
I did. Completely obsessed. I mean, it's the biggest money drain you will ever get involved with, but it puts the biggest smile on my face. Oh my God.
There's something about it. And I think it's also the people that are involved in it too. It takes a certain personality to want to do what we do, because it doesn't make sense to most individuals, or they think you're fucking nuts. First time I ever picked up a motorcycle, my ex, he was then my husband, said, you're going to kill yourself. Literally just said to me, you're going to kill yourself. And I was like, well, then I guess that's my choice to go kill myself. Right. So I want to go kill myself, I guess. And he said that to my children at the time I don't even think they were quite teenagers yet. They were just on the cusp. And my youngest was so terrified. he wouldn't even talk to me. He thought I was literally trying to kill myself. But I think the proven results are, I ended up loving it, learned a lot about it, enough that I started a company out of my passion. And I think that was when, the tides changed for them, was understanding it wasn't one of those things that is a fly by night thing. This literally captured my heart and my soul. And it was like, it needed to happen and it had to be a part of my life.
Mm-hmm. I feel that way. Like I wish I could just be around motorcycles just all the time. Just all
Yeah.
the time. I just want my life to
I love the
all day
smell
long.
of the gas. I love I love the sounds of the bike. It's just such a visceral feeling. And Travis is looking at us like we're
Family.
freaking nuts.
Why? I had a
right.
motorcycle for a decade. I loved it. I rode everywhere.
You're right.
Did you? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
To the military base. Yes, I remember. You told
I had a bike
me.
for 10 years. I had it wasn't a sport bike. It was a cruiser. I had a Boulevard C50 that I took all over the place, and you get that tingling feeling when you get off your bike because all the blood's like rushing back to your extremities. And huge into motorsports. I had a hot rod for a number of years. I used to race all over town, and then going into Vegas, my buddy was doing his bachelor party. He's been to Vegas a ton of times. I was like, what have you not done yet? And he's like, I haven't been racing out at Vegas Speedway. So I went out to Dream Racing and I bought a package that let us, we went around in a Maserati together, and then he drove an Aston Martin and an Audi R8. And this isn't like the NASCAR track. This is the road course in the middle of the field. So you had hairpin turns and S curves and all that stuff. And then I rode the new Corvette C8, the mid-engine one. And then I drove a McLaren. And all the guys riding with you are Italian race car drivers. They're certified by Ferrari. And they ask you, what kind of experience do you want to have? And I did a lot of straight line racing, a lot of drag racing stuff. And then I was like, I just want to rip it around the track. He's like, okay, let's go. And so all the top gears, the paddle shifting, slamming on the brakes. I passed 6 people. He's like, are you working on like your track time? I was like, this is my first time on the track for this. And he's like, no shit. He left. He walked inside to check something. He came back. I would have been in the top 5 track times in his circuit over the last year. Like,
holy shit.
I love being behind the wheel. Love it. Love it.
Wow.
Whether that's just road tripping across country. We're getting ready for road trip number 3. I drove to Pensacola from Oklahoma City. I drove to Delaware from Oklahoma City. Now we're driving to Minnesota and back here at the next at the end of this week. Shit, Thursday, 2 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really? In 2 days, it just now hits you. You're leaving in 2 days.
I was packed the same day. I packed same day to go to Bahrain for a year. I packed two backpacks and I left.
Oh, such a man thing.
I know, right? They don't have to worry about all the other things like we have to primp. Oh my God.
None of it.
Don't be mad because guys are naturally pretty.
Oh God.
That's probably the worst thing I've ever said on this show.
Oh, it's constant. Like I do all the organizing. We just went to Spain for some track days. I did all the hotels, all the track days, renting the bikes, like looking into restaurants, everything. I looked into make sure everything was paid. And then he just shows up and packs. So what time we're going at? He doesn't know where we're going, like what airport we're going to, like who we're flying with, what time it is. I have to tell him everything. I mean, come on.
Do you know what's worse than that? We my wife and I went on a cruise with another couple of years ago, and my wife was, as you might imagine, recovering from one of her like 42 surgeries. And we're there in the room and she's got the laptop and she's choosing all the stuff. We're talking about excursions and all these different things. And then like 10 days later, she gets really mad at me. She's like stomping around the house and slamming cupboards and stuff. And I'm like, she doesn't usually get like, when she gets mad, it's not like that, right? Like, I'm not sure what's happening. And she's like, you just think you can plan a cruise without me? Like, and I laughed in her face, right? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you did all this stuff. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing. I looked at that credit card bill. She was on pain meds and didn't remember that she was the one that booked all the stuff. She was mad at me. Like I like snatched the card from like, behind her and I went and saw this. She's like, I don't even want to do this stuff. I was like, you picked it. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's
That's
like
the best.
some of this stuff is just like straight up hilarious, but like she
All the time.
did all the planning to come and see me when I was overseas. We did New Year's in Dubai, ringing in 2020 on the beach. It was absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing.
Wow.
But she is definitely the planner in that stuff. And guys, it's not that we're not planners; it's that we're just prepared for whatever happens. But we don't have to plan and make an itinerary in order to have fun or feel comfortable.
What's with this whole packing like a toddler thing though? Oh, one pair of pants, one pair of underwear, one pair of one t-shirt, pair of flip-flops. That's all good, right? That's good. That's a good pack.
Oh, I guess your toddler is different than my toddler. Because I always pack at least 3 extra pairs of underwear. If I'm gone for one day, I got 4 pairs of
Turn them
underwear.
inside out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh,
Frontwards,
no,
backwards, inside out, front,
no,
back.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Well, you know how laundry happens, right? Like the wife and kids have 7 shirts, 7 pairs of socks, 7 pairs of underwear, 7 pants.
Okay.
Guys have like 7 pairs of shirts, 7 pairs of underwear, 7 pairs of socks, 1 pair of pants, like for the whole week's worth.
Literally.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, anyways, like the whole we took a turn there from the motorcycle stuff. But yeah. Come on, right back.
Yeah. Why do you say GXXR? You don't just say Gixxer?
Gixxer? Yeah, you can. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Yeah. Either way.
Either way to say it.
Yeah. And so that's how we met. And from day one, I adored this girl. She was in tears after her bike went down. Oh my God, it was awful.
Really sad about my bike, and there's every time I've been knocked unconscious, I wake up and I'm like, but is my bike okay? I think that's every writer. It's like, just tell me my bike's okay and it's not done.
How bad is it? Yeah. How bad is it? How much do you think it'll cost? Can we get it back in a week?
I had an accident on the highway. I thrown over a car. I thrown over a car, hit the front, rolled 100 feet across 3 lanes of traffic, and nothing hit me. Full gear, of course, always dressed for the ride, not the slide, not the ride. And woke up. I had some random guy holding my hand and a paramedic asking me my name. I ignored that completely and just said, well, is my bike all right? And he's like, it's a little scratch. Well, the thing was in pieces. It was totally just total.
I remember getting the picture from you from the hospital, and I was like, what the hell, girl?
Yeah, I held up traffic for a few hours too. I was that person. Yeah, one of those. I'm really sorry to everyone that ended up in that, but
for the minor inconvenience of making sure that you're safe.
I'm just shocked nobody hit her on the highway. That's,
dude, I know.
That's nuts. Yeah. That's absolutely nuts. I love how you said dress for the slide, not the ride, because I know bikers on their cruisers, they're not prepared for any kind of wreck. But just about everyone I know that rides a sport bike has the full gear, full pads, the armor installed, boots that go over your ankle, all that stuff. Yeah. Bikers, regular guys, they're we'll just ride around in whatever tennis shoes and a tank top.
Yeah, but they have that tiny little helmet too. Yeah. It's not a full face helmet, Yeah.
Let me tell you, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's something like 60% or something. When you have an accident on a bike, this is where you hit. It's not, you're not going to go off the bike like this and hit the top of your head. That's not going to happen.
So for people that aren't watching this, she's talking about the jaw line is where you're going to land. You're not going to flip over and land on the top of your head. You're taking it in the face. Almost guaranteed. You are.
Yeah. So protect this. Yeah. And people don't think about it. I did a what we call a double, where you low slide, it catches the curb and then it flips you. So you end up, high siding. So
Mhm.
high siding, flicking you off like a booger. And
Great visuals here today with Carol on the
Lovely.
Titan podcast.
Like a booger.
Like a booger. Let's pick it up from the booger. Yeah.
Okay. And so I went from the left side of the track and I Supermaned it on the asphalt, and the whole front of my helmet was shaved.
Mhm.
And to this day, I keep that helmet because
Yeah,
it reminds
amazing.
me why we gear, right? Because without it, I walked away, literally walked away.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
feel
invaluable.
I feel pretty fortunate to never have put the bike on the ground. I don't know how I ever did that. Everyone that rode that I knew that rode when I bought mine, they're like, yeah, you're gonna put it down at least once, if not twice. Never put it down. Pretty happy about that. But you'll have an advantage where you are that I don't have. In the summer for us, it's like 110 damn degrees down here in Oklahoma, and like wearing all those leathers all day, like even whether it's cow or kangaroo or for the
Hey,
extra.
by the
We
way,
still have that.
Yeah.
we have that. We have that. We've
We have
ridden
that. We're not in
in
igloos
a-
up in Canada.
For how
There's no
long?
igloos up here.
not
For
You
how
get
long?
sun.
We had
Yeah.
it. We beat Death Valley's
I mean,
record of
2 months.
consecutive days over 100 degrees. It was
Oh my
like
God.
70 days in a row or some nonsense where it was over 100.
Okay, no, we don't get that many days.
That's
in a row.
rare. That happened in like 2010 or 2011, but like still happened. It was still hot as all
Jeez.
get out. Yeah, I know it gets to be 100 in Alaska. And I know it snows in Mexico City, but that's not the standard either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it gets hot. I mean, you want the best diet in the world is ride a motorcycle in the 90s and 100 degrees. And honestly, you
10 pounds
will
insulated.
be, oh my God, instantly lose inches. You're
Yeah.
just sweating your balls off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Totally.
In your case, they
Totally.
came clean off.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Somebody's got to stop him.
So this has been a lot of fun. We're getting close to on time here. And a couple questions for you, Lucy. If someone wants to get a hold of you, where would they find you? What's the one place you want them to go?
Probably my Instagram. That's probably my unless it's, I mean, you're talking motorcycle related, right? Not vet related.
No.
I have
In
no
that
idea.
case,
I just
whatever.
talk to you as a person.
Yeah, just you.
Yeah, probably Instagram. My Instagram's ride with a 4 YR life. Ride for your life.
Ride for your life. That's a lot of fun. What kind of advice would
Yeah.
you have today if someone's out there struggling with, who they are, mental health, not sure what they're gonna do in life? Like, what would you tell somebody?
I mean, I think the only person that can help ourselves is us, right? So if it's mental health or struggling generally with that, I mean, I've had it as a vet. Like, there's a lot of pressure associated with that, and you can definitely go to dark places. It's just how much help you want to get yourself. And I think I really believe in counseling. Find someone that works with you because it 100% helps. Do what you need to do to feel better. I mean, I found motorcycling that has helped me a ton with my mental health, just the pressure from work and everything else. It's just such a release. So also finding a hobby like that or something that you absolutely love, that's your passion and your obsession, it really helps sidetrack those feelings, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. What tell us one last thing. I want to know something about you that like most people just don't know. What do we got to know about Lucy that most people just have never heard?
Dish, girl.
Oh God, like anything?
Anything. You got web toes or something? I don't know. Whatever the thing is.
What do I have? No web toes. I mean, most people don't know that I had Lyme. That's a big one.
Mm.
I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, everybody thinks that, oh, she's a vet, blah, blah, blah. She's got motorcycles. She's got everything she could want. But like, I think everything I've got, I've worked really, really hard for. And I'm a very stubborn person, very stubborn. Like, only
Really, you're Scottish. You're freaking stubborn anyways. That's not a surprise.
Super stubborn and extremely competitive. And I'll go to war. I'll go to war with that competitiveness. I'm like, come on.
We know.
When's the last time your like
Downfall for
competitive
sure.
nature blew up in your face?
Oh, I mean, we were in Spain doing track days, and I'm like, I will be beating my husband no matter what. I mean, it didn't technically blow up in my face, but it could have ended our marriage. Let's just say.
Oh,
Like, oh, you're getting beaten, my friend. You're going down.
I don't know. We've got a rule
Like,
in our house
we're
if
not friends
we're
on the track.
we got a rule in our house if we're playing games like no one's married,
All
you're not
bets are
my
off?
kids, like
Nope.
like
Level
like sports,
playing
I'd go out to have fun, you know, whatever, you can beat me, congrats on beating me, whatever, I'm having a great time. But like board games, like you better fucking hold on because I'm coming.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is.
It's on.
Whatever the thing is. People are like, how do you guys like do that and stay married? I'm like, that's the only place we do it. Is playing board games, card games, whatever the thing is. Like, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario
Not a
like,
nice
on the
guy.
TV. Yeah, like I'm gonna kick your ass, whatever the thing is. Mm.
I love it.
It's amazing. Oh,
This has
it's
been a
totally
lot
like
of
that.
fun, Lucy. This is diving into the life of a Scottish immigrant into Canada who had Lyme disease, but no one believed it, to getting your cat peanut and pickle. Was it
Pickles.
pickle? Ugh,
Pickle.
pickle.
The West. Yeah.
Pickle.
Just kidding.
So glad to have you on the show.
Motorcycling.
I'm glad that you found
Yeah.
motorcycle riding as one of your passions. It's a blast to be on the bike. I loved it absolutely every minute I had it, right until I went to aviation safety officer school. I just saw how many people were injured or killed on motorcycles. I was like, maybe I
Yeah,
should.
it's very easy to let that overtake your mind. Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all agree we're probably all three of us are a bit of an adrenaline junkies.
Mhm.
I think that's what drives it, right? You don't realize until you're in all these things that you're like, wait a minute, I really do have
I
this
might
thing
be
for
addicted.
Yeah, my God, I just do all these crazy. Like when I go horse riding, I want the stupidest horse that wants to buck everyone off. That's always what I go for. I'm like, I don't want the plodding one. I want the one that just wants to go.
You
realized
love
that.
adventure.
I do love that. Yeah, got that bug.
Yeah, for the bug.
Thanks
Thanks
for having me,
again.
Travis.
What's that?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun, even though you guys didn't let me
loved it.
talk for like the first 30 minutes before we hit record. Other than that, like this has been fantastic.
Love
have a good
you.
one.
That's all for this episode of Titan Evolution Podcast. We hope this no-holds-barred conversation opened your eyes on what it takes to live a genuinely happy life, according to your own terms. Now that you've treated yourself to such a refreshing discussion, you cannot listen to nonsense content anymore. Be sure not to miss an episode by subscribing to the show at TitanEvolutionPodcast.com. Don't forget to share the word so more people can be enlightened, informed, and entertained. Thank you for listening.